welcome to the Easily Excitable podcast. My name is Top, and with me this week is Shoban. Hey man, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Things are going well. It's reached the end of the year, and there's been a lot that's gone on.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, don't really know where to start, but we do this every year anyway, and we always talk about like what's come up. Like last year, you were like, "Oh, Spotify does this cool thing," and this year I've been like, "Oh, Spotify does this cool thing." So I'll start at the beginning of the year and use Spotify for the whole year. So yeah, I was using that, and they put out their Wrapped statistics like at this point, like a week and a bit ago, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think it's about a week or so ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I was fascinated by like mine to see what's gone on, and like what I've listened to the most, and like how much I've listened to, and I've listened to way more. Well, not way more than I was expecting. Actually, I listened to less than I was expecting. But when you take it as an average of how much I've listened to a day, it was quite shocking.
Right.
Considering I can sit at my desk and listen to music for hours on end, like I'm not really surprised. Yeah. So let's start with that. I guess you've also been using Spotify, and you've got also your Wrapped statistics as well, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I found it kind of interesting just because I do have the stats from last year compared to this year. And once you start getting multiple years in, it's interesting to kind of see a progression, and you can really see how much small things can impact even something like your listening minutes. So,
Yeah.
for example, when I think it first came out in 2016, my shifted from 2016 to 2017. I think I lost about 7,000 minutes of listening time a year, and that was because I'd switched jobs where I went from a job where all I would do was I'd have my headphones in, I'd walk to work, I'd get to work, I'd put my headphones in, I'd listen to music from 9 to 5, then leave, put my headphones in, walk back to work, to I went to a job where I had to just be talking to clients all the time. So
Yeah.
it would be, okay, downtime, headphones in. Oh, clients here, headphones out. So I lost a lot of minutes that way. Plus, I was also playing around with other streaming services like Tidal and Apple Music just to kind of see how they were.
Okay.
And then this year, I actually went up about 7,000 minutes in music, or sorry, in music listen, because I noticed I was actually driving back and forth between where I was living to back to my parents' place a lot more this year. So
Okay.
yeah, rather than listening to the radio, I just plug in my phone and then just blast music. And I also started listening to podcasts as well. So that's about
Yeah.
an instant 2.5 hours, depending on the podcast, right?
Yeah,
So
so I just noticed that I'm still using the Apple app for podcasts, and I can
right.
totally get all of mine through Spotify. So over the next year, I'm going to just try and use it all through Spotify,
Okay.
so I can keep track of that too, because I've listened to so many podcasts that yeah, it will probably have a massive impact. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, I've listened to many minutes this year. It's like, oh, that's cool. So yeah, how many minutes did you spend listening to music this year?
This year was only about 16,389.
Okay.
In comparison, my sister, I don't know what she was doing. I think she had about 43,000 minutes of just. But then she's in school as well, right? So it's just exams and everything as well.
I mean, my number's 45,908.
Oh my goodness!
That averages at just over 2 hours of music a day.
Oh my.
So, yeah, when I can sit at my desk and listen to music for hours, somehow, like, when I'm sitting at my desk for, like, 9 hours a day and I'm only averaging 2 hours a day, I'm like, this doesn't seem right. But, yeah, I do listen to podcasts and stuff like that and on my phone. And obviously I've got to do work at some times and I can't sit at my desk.
Of
So,
course.
yeah, it kind of makes sense. But if I had if I had podcasts into there, I'm pretty certain I could break like 50,000 next year.
Oh my god! Are you gonna try to make that a goal for next year? That's your 2019
I mean,
resolution.
Yeah, it might be, but like I've got a lot changing next year, and I
Right.
don't really know what's going to be going on. I'm not going to
Yeah.
be sitting at a desk working.
That's true.
Oh, I know that much. Like, I don't really know what's going to go on over the next year, so I can't. I would love to be like, yeah, 50,000 minutes of like music and podcasts, but
Uh,
whether that'll happen or not is completely out of my control at this point.
Of course.
Yeah, so I've listened to a lot.
What did you think about the curated playlist they made for you with all your most popular or most listened to songs?
It's cool. It makes sense. Like, it's a lot of the things that I've been listening, like a lot of like instrumental progressive metal style things.
Mm,
And I just like listening to that because a lot of it's instrumental, so there's no vocals on it, so I can just get on with work, which is why I listen to it when I'm at work.
right.
So it's full of all of this awesome music, but like when I'm not in work, I'm kind of like, oh, I really want to listen to this, which has lyrics on it that I can like either sing along to or just listen and enjoy.
Of course.
So yeah, how about yours? What was yours?
Mine was actually like just a collection of music.
Hmm.
I guess most time I was listening to music was during the summer, because
Hmm.
a majority of the songs were just all of the ones that I was listening to between the June and August period.
Uh-huh.
I think metrics wise, they were just basing it on minutes listened, or
Hmm.
I guess total play time.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was just interesting because a lot of the songs are basically songs I would during the summer I just blast in my car and be driving
Hmm.
around and stuff. So it was interesting just kind of seeing a lot of that. And then also I started listening to that other playlist that they put out where it was almost like a curated. Oh, if you like these songs, you might like these songs as well. And a lot of I did like a lot of the ones that I listened to this year under that suggested playlist.
Yeah, I've listened to the whole playlist. It's the Taste Breakers playlist that I've got,
Right.
and there's I'm in like a really weird spot where like I will listen to anything that I think is interesting.
Right.
So I've been listening to a band called Brass Against recently,
Okay.
and they started off by playing Rage Against the Machine covers with their brass section, and then they've done like heavy metal
Okay.
covers of heavy metal songs with like horns and like all that stuff, and it's awesome. It's so cool. But like one of my suggested things in Taste Breakers is a like a jazz kind of group that do that kind of thing called Organ Freeman.
Oh
I'm just
no.
like, oh, this is class. This is great. But then I've got like prog acousticy kind of stuff by like Mike Dawes,
Oh,
and
that's great.
then I've got some like instrumental stuff by Marco Miniman, and I'm just like, oh, I know of all these people, but I've just never really invested the time. And then it's also got a bunch of Prince songs on here as well, and it's like, you'll like Prince. I'm like, okay, I know I like Prince. And it's like all things. There's a lot of people on the list that like I follow online that I've listened to on like YouTube,
Right.
and like. So, for example, Mike Dawes is on YouTube. Jared Dines is on YouTube. He's a guitarist. Oh, he's a musician, actually.
Okay.
Shouldn't discredit him by saying guitarist when he plays all of them. And I'm just like, oh, this is cool. But it's like, it's kind of all stuff that I kind of know anyway. But
Mm.
yeah, there are still quite a few artists on there that are new to me. And I'm just like, oh, this is real interesting stuff. That's
No, of course.
being,
Yeah,
being
it's interesting. Yeah, just like you said, kind of how they shuffle stuff in. Because even I'm just looking at mine right now, and I have a couple things by Robert Glasper and Lonnie Liston Smith, and I have like I think like Fela Kudi's on here as well, and Joe Bataan, which are all sort of like in the same area of sort of Spanish music and sort of jazz and funk music. But
Mhm.
then I have a bunch of Steely Dan that was in here and Sublime as well, and I'm just like, what? Okay, sure, yeah, I'm going with this. This all works together perfectly.
Yeah, yeah. What have I got? I'm just trying to think. Yeah, it told me what my favorite band was, and it was like, yes, it's Ninja Sex Party. And I was like, great. I've listened to them a lot. I know they had a new album out this year, which was cool. And then it was like Pliny, and then Soilwork, Tremonti, and Frank Turner. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because Frank Turner put out Be More Kind, which, I don't know, for me, probably my favourite album of the year. But I can't really find anyone else that's really put out an album that's actually had that much of an impact on me.
Yeah.
Because like Soilwork have put out a bunch of new songs, but their new album's coming in the new year, and it's just like, And then yeah, Tremonti's definitely on it because I'm just like, oh, I'm going running, and I need something fast paced and heavy, and Tremonti fits that bill, which is why Soilwork also fit that bill.
Yeah, no.
And
This year I feel like was the year of the singles. Everybody was putting out just singles for new albums or new projects that are coming out, but no one really released full on projects. It's all stuff that you just have to wait for until the new year, or they were delayed, or they were intending on doing it, but it just never came out. I would honestly say my album of the year only came out in November, and it was called Oxnard by Anderson .Paak.
hmm
That was a very interesting project to listen to because there was, I mean, Anderson .Paak is a very interesting instrumentalist. Like he plays drums, he plays the guitar, he plays the keys, he sings, he's produced it, he does everything. And then him and his band are heavily influenced on in this. So yeah, just kind of hearing it was a fantastic contrast to what I was listening to throughout the year because everything else was a little bit more high energy, and this was
Yeah.
kind of a little bit more laid back. Also, it had a more summery vibe to it, so driving around in the middle of winter with all the snow everywhere while this was going on was it actually felt really cool just having that difference there.
Ah, nice, nice. Yeah, one of the statistics that I've got is the you listen to non-mainstream artists 96% more than the average Spotify listen. It's like, oh gosh, I'm just being me.
Yep, super
But
unapologetic hipster. Just
oh, it's not even being a hipster about it. It's just like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that one. But yeah, and yeah, I like seeing the statistics because I'm just like, this is
oh yeah.
real interesting. But I think, yeah, the amount that I've listened to is great. For some reason, Spotify has me comparing stuff to like last year as well, especially on podcasts, because it's like your podcast increase is it's a ridiculous percentage. I'm not going to say it, it's just the largest number.
Is it past 100?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it past 200?
Well, it was like your increase in podcast listening is like 2,000,000%, and I'm just like,
Oh, what?
because I didn't listen to any podcasts last year, so I'm just like, that statistic is pointless. It doesn't show anything. So yeah, I'm like, oh, this is nonsense. But yeah,
Broken algorithm. Gotta love it.
yep, absolutely. So yeah, but yeah, I've had a real good time this year listening to music, and like I think luckily my job's kind of allowed me to just sit and listen to music while I'm getting on with other things.
Right.
And I really think that's helped like expand the music that I'm listening to, as well as discover like way more music. And that's kind of just what I've been doing. Like over the last week, I think Rachel said to me that she's going to go and see a band called The Midnight with Lexi. And
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like, okay, I will check them out. And they're like a synthwave band. I'm just like, okay, I like this. And then I just went on related acts and just listened to a bunch of those as well, and just listened to those albums and just chilled out, listened to that, and you know,
Oh yeah.
just really enjoyed what was going on there. I'm just like,
Yeah, you,
okay,
you
this
could
is-
definitely lose yourself in that stuff. It's so good. Just
Yeah.
it's like you just fall into the abyss, and it takes forever to just kind of climb out of that.
Mhm. So yeah, I've just ended up going down these like massive rabbit holes and just been like, yeah, I will start the day on a band I somewhat know, and then I will end up the day on somewhere completely different, listening to something entirely strange, and to be like, this is great, this is wonderful. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, any closing points on Spotify? Statistics?
Not really. I mean, Spotify. Like again, I've used Spotify for a while now, and I always just love. Like I love its UI. I love the statistics that it pulls in. I think their ability to curate and have curated playlists is probably why they're so heavily used because it reminds me of remember how a couple years ago there were a whole bunch of streaming websites where they just like you couldn't choose what songs you wanted. It was all
Yeah.
just playlists. Like I think Songzo was one, and 8 Tracks was another.
And
And
Pandora.
yeah, Pandora too. And it feels like they took the best of those along
Mhm.
with the best of what like iTunes and all of those had to offer and kind of combined it, which is why they're so dominant now.
Yeah. Yeah. I like every week just checking out like my Discovery playlist and I think the new releases one, whatever it is. And yeah, I listen to both of those on mine like every week. And I'm just like, cool. Show me new stuff. Show me stuff that bands I like have recently released. And
Oh yeah,
yeah, just its ability to create playlists easily is just it's just great. Just
it's unbelievable.
but yeah, and then yeah, just creating radios and just been like, yeah, just put that on and play me a bunch of songs.
Oh yeah, and then you can even choose if you like or dislike it, and then it basically trains it trains it to choose more songs that are similar to it or to stay away from songs that are like that.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
absolutely. Cool. Um, so yeah, throughout the year, you've been learning bass guitar.
Yeah, so I've been going through it still, been
Hmm.
playing a little bit more. Really trying to focus on trying to under like before I was started I said I didn't want to really kind of do the notation and stuff like that
Yeah.
because I was like I might as well just learn by hand and play by ear and figure that stuff out. But now I'm really trying to focus on really understanding bass notation.
Okay.
Um, so I've been pretty much looking at. Thankfully, I do have my previous experience of playing, playing using sheet music. I was playing, you know, acoustic guitar and trumpet and all that fun stuff. So I kind of can read a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's just I've noticed that at least with bass, there's so many extra symbols and identifiers there that I just have no idea what they are
Uh-huh.
because they like they obviously they didn't apply to any brass instruments.
Yeah.
So I'd look at them and I'm like, what does this mean? What? Ha, huh? Like, so I'd have to just spend my time googling it and pull it up and try to pick up as much as I can. Um, I'm still trying to basically learn 3 or 4 songs just because I want to make sure I have those down packed before I move on to anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been going good. I still need to.
Nice.
I'm still looking at buying a stand or like one of those wall hanging stands so I could hang my bass on there
Hmm.
rather than just kind of like keeping it propped up because that's definitely gonna damage the bass.
Yep. Hmm.
So yeah, I got to look into those, and I found some that were reasonably priced that I might pick up at some point.
Cool. Cool. I've just been going on an adventure with my guitar.
Oh yeah,
I've just been like I picked it up the other day and I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna play a little. And then I came up with something and I'm just like, I like how that sounds. Let's try and like develop that. And then yeah, I've got it to a point today where I'm like really really happy with it. And I'm just like, oh, this sounds good. It's like a
nice.
foundation for I don't know either a chorus or a verse for a song. I'm just like, yes, that is cool. I like where that's at. And then yeah, it's recently been my birthday, so I was like, cool. I'm gonna get myself a nice thing with money that I've been given, and I got myself a little pedal called a Tube Screamer Mini. It just
Okay.
provides like a little bit of extra overdrive to the guitar signal, and in combination with like all the other pedals I've got, it just gives it that little boost. So if I want to move from like just playing rhythm into playing lead and just getting that extra bit of definition over the top, it just provides it, and I'm just like, ooh, this is real nice.
Right.
But I've only just had it delivered, so you know, I haven't had enough time with it to really like delve into it. But yeah, it kind
Right.
of just like cuts off a bit of the top end and really like levels it out, like levels out the signal of the guitar. So when you're playing like big chords using all the strings, usually when you're distorted, it's quite messy and difficult to like hear the intricacies of the chord that's being played.
Right.
But it just cuts all the top end out, so really you can hear the articulation of all the chord, and it just sounds way better. And like that's like the first noticeable thing that I heard. And then like it's hard like if you've not heard the guitar that I play without the without the Tube Screamer Mini on, like the difference between it on and off. But to me, because I've spent I don't know thousands of hours playing these guitars through this setup, like it's
Right.
really obvious. But it's like it's such a minute, obvious like difference. Like no one's gonna pick it up. But like for me, I'm just like, oh, this sounds exactly how I want it to sound right now. And
I
it's
mean
just,
that's always the case, right? You whenever you're working on anything
mhm.
music related, you get it tuned to the way you want it, and then you'll play it for somebody who heard a previous version. They're like, it's the exact same. What are you talking about? You're
Yeah,
like, no, you don't understand. Like I changed so much to it. It's so
yeah,
different now.
yeah. So yeah, that's been real fun. I've been messing around with that, and yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do. I know one of my goals for the year was to finish recording it. Well, record a song or record more songs than I did last year. But
Right.
you know, we'll see how that goes. But I absolutely have time. Like as the year's winding down as well, I've got like a week and a half off because of Christmas and New Year. I'm just like,
Okay.
okay, time to like probably give it a good effort and like,
Oh yeah,
try and get
just
some
go
stuff
off.
recorded. I have the capabilities. I have the software. I have all the stuff I need. But am I going to do it? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see.
Right. Yeah, I've also been so along with the bass, I've actually just been working on like the DJing stuff as well, just because I hadn't touched it in a little while. And then what happened was I noticed that there was a new update that recently came out online, which I find interesting because they're starting to, at least the software, whenever you're running basically any programs to have it read to your turntables or CD players or whatever you use,
Uh huh.
they have it now where your streaming, you can actually use a streaming service now to import songs. So I think it's Tidal and not Spotify. I wish it was Spotify. It's
Yeah.
SoundCloud.
Okay.
So,
Uh huh.
so now if you use basically if you use either of their premium accounts, you can import songs directly from there, and then I believe it has the ability to play it offline as well. I haven't tested it out because I don't have either platform,
Hmm.
but yeah, I find it interesting that they're starting to use the bigger streaming services because that was one of the biggest. Like, I understand the purpose of it too because they're really focused more on like the mobile uh, DJs. There have been a lot of people that are really upset about this because they said, "Oh, why would you do this? Like I love like downloading the music and getting all that, and I have like a place for all of it now. It's just so easily accessible." But at the same time, people who've been around for a very long time are like, "What are you talking about? I used to have to go to the store and buy physical copies. Like this just
Yeah.
makes it convenient for everybody, so that way I don't have to like worry too much about my hard drive crashing. I could just be like, "Oh yeah, pull everything in. Just I'm
Yeah.
good to go."
Like,
So
why should there be a barrier to entry? And like,
exactly.
everyone should have the ability to do it. Like,
Oh yeah.
like
I've
just the gatekeeping and things like that is kind of ludicrous sometimes. It's just like,
Yeah,
oh,
I
I
hate
really
that
don't need
honestly.
it.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's like, especially like you'll see it with like there's some that are considered purists, and I feel like this is in all industries where they're the purists that won't like jump ship into anything, and then if the industry introduces something new which is not associated with them or they don't need to jump into it, they still complain about it.
Hmm.
Like, wasn't that a huge issue decades ago when they introduced electric guitars, and everybody was like, "Why are they introducing electric guitars?" And I think
They
it
didn't need to
was,
be any louder than they are.
yeah, there was I think there was a famous concert. I can't remember where it was where I think Bob Dylan was playing on an electric guitar and he got booed off stage.
Oh,
And this is when he was already Bob Dylan. He wasn't just
yeah.
some like local guy.
Yeah.
He went to a concert and he played an electric guitar on stage, and they booed him because it was electric. Like, what do you do? Like, what?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. I was watching a thing earlier about like guitar amplifiers, like from
Hmm.
like 1950s and 1960s, and like how they've evolved to the point that they're at now. And like back then, they were only like to like push them up to like their max volume. You'd get them
Right.
to like a moderate volume today on like much cheaper, more
Right.
available amplifiers. But there's something special about those amps back then, like when
Oh
they're
yeah.
cranked up loud. But yeah, I was captivated with it. I was just like, oh, this is just so cool. I just
Oh yeah.
want one of these old amps that are probably like countless thousands of dollars. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh no. But yeah,
Well, a lot of those amps, they also create that fuzz, which I mean, you could technically create through, running through and having effects and everything, but it just doesn't sound the same as
no,
when it was going
yeah,
on.
like artifacts and compression.
Yeah.
It just doesn't emulate it correctly. And it's just
No.
like, oh no, could be so good, but
Yeah, no.
alas, it is not.
Yeah, I was looking at like I think I mentioned when we were talking about this before, I was looking at purchasing a drum machine as well.
Uh-huh.
And they're creating new versions of the classic Roland TR-808s.
Mm-hmm.
And they're good, but again, it's instead of having it be sort of an analog sound that the original drum machine had, they're more digital, which I mean, everybody's been using digital emulated versions of that drum machine, so it's not the same. But at the same time, when you hear it, you do hear a difference when you have a side by side comparison. And the original cost, it's so much money.
Yeah, the
It's like
originals are so
thousands of
expensive.
dollars.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
yeah, it's ludicrous. I mean, like absolutely ludicrous. You know,
Yeah.
just to have one of those vintage amps, it's just like, oh, it's so nice.
Yeah.
Oh well, oh well. So, yeah, is that it for music? Yeah, streaming services like providing tools for DJs. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like that really. I don't know. That's interesting. Like, yeah, okay, I'm not really into being a DJ at all. Like,
Right.
obviously an instrument player first and foremost, but
Of course.
yeah, I understand. Like, accessibility is so important and like
Oh,
so
yeah.
much easier.
Cause,
Yeah.
'cause imagine, right? Like before, you would have to just bring crates and crates of all your music,
Yeah.
and like if you had a gig and it was about an hour out, you'd
Mhm.
have to either buy a van or rent a van, and
Mhm.
then just put all of it in the van, and then you'd have to get there maybe 6 hours early just to unload everything, and then you have to set
Imagine
everything
like
up.
spinning something up and be like, "Oh, I know what will flow into this." You open the sleeve and just like, it's not there.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, nope. Oh, or
Not
if
there.
it's
Can't
like
do it.
the,
I need to find
or if
something
it's-
else immediately. Panic.
yeah, or if it's damaged and you're like,
Yeah.
what happened? How did this? What do I do? Oh no! So not only do you have to worry about trying to find something else, but you have to remember to buy it later on.
Yep.
Just
Oh, oh dear. But, yeah, crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's talk about something else. Let's just
For sure.
say, what have you been playing recently?
So I was so excited when they announced that the new Super Smash Brothers was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was back in June when they announced it.
Yep.
And it's funny, last year when they announced the Nintendo Switch, I looked at it and I said, "Oh yeah, that looks cool. I'm probably not going to get it until until Super Smash Brothers comes out for it."
Yep.
And then sure enough, I see that and I'm like, "Well, okay, that's a thing." So I before, like, leading up to it, I was playing a lot of WoW, and
Mhm.
I got really burnt out from playing WoW because they're just not updating it as much, and I was just doing reputation grinding, and it's a lot. They basically made it a lot more difficult to grind reputation, and there was no reward for it afterwards as well, and your drop chances for loot, it was a lot harder to get some of the smaller items. So you had to save up money, and then again they made it harder to grind for money. So I was just like, all right, I need to take a break from this. So I canceled my subscription. So I think I only have like 15 days left on it before my subscription goes away.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 15 days. And then during American Black Friday, they also had some deals in Canada as well.
Hmm.
and they had a deal where if you buy a Nintendo Switch, it comes with the Mario Kart.
Oh, okay, nice.
So so I bought it, got Mario Kart immediately. Was great. Was playing that the exact same as the one I had for the Wii U, and then I got Stardew Valley as well because I had some credits for it,
Hmm.
and I started playing that. I was like, I need to separate myself from this because this is gonna definitely gonna take up all of my time, and I need to get ready for Smash Brothers.
Hmm.
And then I also picked up Zelda Breath of the Wild as well.
Cool.
Uh,
How is that?
that
I'm like,
that's actually a really fun game.
yeah.
It feels like I don't know. It feels like it's extremely open world, and it's like so when I would watch people play the game, I didn't really watch them like a full let's play or anything
Hmm.
like that. I'd watch the first little bit where Link wakes up in this uh in this cave and then goes out and he stands up and then he looks and he sees like this whole area and it's like open world and I was like, okay, yeah, the world looks pretty big, but it's still relatively small, about the size of Hyrule from what I remember. Okay, cool. And then I played the game, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, you're on this giant like boarded up cliff, and there's actually more to it." And I was like, "What?" Yeah,
Mm,
I crawl all the way to the top, and I look around, and I'm like, "Where am I? What is, huh?" And
yeah.
so then they have, and yeah, and you can go in any order, anywhere you want, and do whatever. So I've just been trying to do as many of the shrines as much as possible
Yeah.
because I know you need a certain amount of hearts to get the Master Sword,
Yes.
and then it's like okay, I'm just going through it. I've managed to get two of the ancient beasts,
Hmm.
so I've gotten I can't remember the names anymore. I got the elephant one and I got the bird one.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, and I think I'm in the middle of the lizard one right now. And but
Is the
yeah, I've just
lizard one
been
the one that's in lava?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Trying to get up to the lizard is so frustrating
Yeah.
because you have that big guy that's following you, and
Hmm.
it's if you get caught to any sort of they have like a meteor storm
Hmm.
that you're literally supposed to lead this guy up to it, and you're like, okay, yeah, no problem, let's go. We dodge all this stuff, hide it, and if you get caught by one of these patrolling lights, it like meteor storms just rain down on it, and
Oh,
as soon as you do, the guy gets scared and he runs away from you. And he'll just stay back, and you can't call him over. And so you have to go back, and then you get caught, and then it hits you, and then you die, and you have to start from the beginning. It's so frustrating.
oh man.
Yeah, but I was playing that, and then Smash Brothers came out, and I pre-ordered it the day they announced once you pre-order it, you get the Piranha Plant as a playable character once that's available.
Nice.
And I'm like, I am going to play that. And the only reason why I decided I was going to play that was because have you ever seen the movie what is it? Little Shop of Horrors?
No, no.
No. So there's a character in that known as Audrey 2 that is a giant plant. I'll see if I can send you a picture of it, but yeah, it looks exactly like the it looks exactly like the piranha plant, and it's fantastic. It's actually that movie is actually a really good movie to check out. It's got a very interesting poppy score. Rick Moranis is in it. It's from like the '80s. It's fantastic.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Probably check it out. I
Oh
think
yeah. So
like
I
yeah, I really want to pick up a Switch. Well, I say I really want to. I'd like to.
right.
It's one of those things
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just like, oh, it'd be cool. Like, but like I think the first like Breath of the Wild was the first game I've watched like someone play through the entirety of it. I watched Game Grumps play the absolute entirety of it,
Okay.
and then once they got finished with it, I was like, oh, I want to actually play this game, not
Yeah.
be satisfied with just watching someone play it. Because a lot of the time
Mhm.
I'll watch someone play a game the whole way through, and I'm just like, I won't pick it up. I know what goes on. But with
Right.
Breath of the Wild, I'm just like, really want to try that out.
There's so much, and there's item management, and it's like it makes sense because it feels kind of like almost in a way it feels like if Diablo 2 was non-linear
Hmm.
because the item management that's behind it and sort of like you already know that there's like different types of arrows, different types of weapons,
Yeah.
gear, and everything, and you have to. It's all situation based, so you have to kind of set everything up. So trying
Mm.
to if don't try to complete it. That's all I'm saying.
No.
Don't try to like 100% the game and in terms of getting all the equipment, getting all the armor, getting all the weapons. That
Yeah.
will that's how you
That'd be
lose.
soul destroying. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's honestly it's a really fun game, and it's even though it gets very frustrating because sometimes you'll get to certain areas and you're well equipped for it, but for whatever reason it just crushes you.
Yeah.
It's still a great game to play. And then yeah, Smash Brothers came out, and I don't think I literally told everybody, "Hey guys, I'm not coming online for like 3 days," and I just sat in my room and played Smash Brothers, cross-legged on my bed, and because what happens is as of right now, I believe there's 74 characters in the game, 72 or 74,
Yeah.
and as soon as you load the game up, you're only given 8,
Yep.
and you have to unlock the remaining characters.
They are the 8 static or are they random?
So the 8 are the original 8 characters from
Oh,
the
okay.
N64 game, yeah.
Okay.
And
So
there are multiple ways where you can unlock them. You can either play the single player game, Path of Light, which is good, but like it's not for me. It's really just kind of like, okay, you're gonna face this character and he's powered up by these things, so you have to make it all situational, which is good. But if I want it's not great for unlocking characters.
yeah.
So all I would do is I would just basically train. So I'd pick my favorite character and then put like 3 lives and then keep the CPU level at a certain level and I just play them. And as soon as it's done and the victory screen goes up, it says "Warning: Incoming Challenger." You face the character, and then once you beat him, you unlock that character. But the
Hmm.
I feel like the CPU levels or of the characters that you face
Uh-huh.
have gone up dramatically in difficulty.
Uh-huh.
Because I remember even on the Wii U, it would be me versus 3 enemies at the max level, and I would be able to destroy them. I'd completely rip them in. First game I played, it was me versus a level 3 character, and I
Uh-huh.
lost. I got spanked so hard. It was unbelievable. I literally questioned everything. I'm like, did I get this bad? Like what what ha- what did I do? Like why am I and I kept losing. I'm like, why am I so bad at this game? I love this game, but I'm so bad. And then I look on Reddit and everybody's like, "Yeah, did they make the game a lot harder? Because this is good." And I'm like, "Okay, good. It's not me. It's
Cool.
not me." So I've just been playing and just sort of getting better at the game. And on I want to say Wednesday, I unlocked all the characters, and I
Cool.
was just like, "Oh my goodness, finally, I did it all." And then now I've just been what I've been doing is I've just been training myself on every single character
Mhm.
and slowly increasing the difficulty of the opponents.
Mhm.
So now I think I'm at so it's you have level 1 through level 9 and I'm at level 6 right now.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I've just been slowly playing that and going through that. And then yeah, just been again just kind of checking WoW once in a while to just be like, "Hey, is there anything new?
Mhm.
Okay, there's something new. Let me see. Let me play this. Is this fun?" And not that much. Okay, I'm gonna go play Smash Brothers, and then when I want to play WoW, I'll just come back and just play something again, like play something small.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So
Cool.
yeah, that's my life right now is probably gonna be Smash Brothers until the rest of the characters are given to me.
Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2 actually.
Oh yeah.
A lot. Yeah. Um, my clan and we've just like over the last few weeks, we've all just been like, oh, actually, this is pretty good, isn't it? And just really got into it, and we've been raiding consistently and just trying to hit all the milestones every week. And so, yeah, we're all just like slowly climbing up the white levels. And new DLC came out a week and a half ago. No, yeah, a week and a half ago. And the season started 2.5 weeks ago, and we're just like climbing the levels, doing all the stuff that we need to, and we're all like nearly ready for the new raid that's been released, and it's just like, oh, we weren't expecting to do this at all because we were all way down on the game. We were just playing it to just keep ourselves entertained and interacting with each other. But we've kind of
Right.
all just like fallen back into it and just like, oh, just like old times, we're all having an absolutely, absolutely killer time. So yeah, it's been quite crazy. And then Path of Exile's just got an update to the Betrayal League, and
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
it's cool, it's fun, there's stuff to do, and yeah, just trying to sort it out and just want to play it more. It's real good. It's real
Yeah.
good. So yeah, I'm playing the same character that I played last season, which isn't the best. Well, it's not the. It's a good character. It's fun to play, but I should really learn to play another style of character. So I've got a second character, but yeah. So they bought like the previous leagues. So the leagues are like seasons that last 3 months, and they've bought the last few seasons worth of content into the game as well, like to make it core and integral to the game.
Right.
And then they've got this new like mechanic in the game that's interesting to engage with, but some people are complaining it's quite tough. So, but it's enjoyable, it's fun, and
That's good.
I'm looking forward to spending more time with it and actually getting to grips with actually what's going on. So
Oh yeah.
we'll see how that goes. But Rachel and I both have like, I don't know, a combined like, I don't know, I think I want to say 11 days off, where we're just going to be probably playing it a lot.
Oh yeah.
And like that's over like the next few weeks. It might have already gone by now. I don't know when this podcast is going up, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, but yeah, it's just been a lot of fun to just play Path of Exile. And Destiny 2 gives me another game to play, and I'm just completely happy with those 2 games at the moment. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's doing me filling up all my time. So yeah.
I'm glad to hear that Destiny 2's finally kind of picked up because I remember again it did take a while to ramp up, but now that it's back,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
solid.
shame that it's taken them over a year to get to this state, though. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and that was like the first one as well. But I played that throughout the whole of its life, and I've kind of done the same with Destiny 2. There was a big section of time where I was like, nah, I can't be bothered with Destiny 2. But now I'm just
Right.
like, oh, my friends are playing it. Every time we're online, we'll be online. Like, I try not to play alone. I
Right.
did spend the whole of this morning playing alone, but that's because there was objectives to do. And really, I'm bad at that. Like, if there's things I've got to do, I'm just like, I can't be bothered.
Right.
Because I have unlimited amount of time, but there's currently a holiday event on, so I'm like, okay, I will work on that. Whereas if I come home during the week and I'm just like, okay, I want to play some games, and there's no one online, I won't play Destiny 2.
Okay.
It's like it's enjoyable because my friends are there, and that's where we're playing.
Right.
It's not well. The gameplay is also good at the moment, so the loop is keeping us in. But we are all preferring to play with each other than playing solo. We don't play solo,
Right.
so
Okay.
yeah. But I don't know what that says about the game, really.
Yeah.
But,
Well, that's I feel like it's needed though because that means it's bringing in more and more people in groups rather than individually.
yeah,
Like I know I haven't actually played Path of Exile solo, but I know playing at least with Diablo 3, playing solo, you could definitely play solo and you can have a blast, but then
Yeah.
playing with people is just it's awesome.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I should probably. Oh, I'm looking forward to the new season in Diablo, whenever that comes. But
oh
that'll
yeah,
be cool. That'll give me something to do, and I'll probably pick that up and just
definitely.
play that when that comes out. But I'm gonna stick with Path of Exile for the time being because it's fun. It's fun. It's good.
For sure.
Cool. Right. I think that's everything that we wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, we covered a lot today.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Shoban, where can we find you across the internet?
You can find me at Nabos Nabohs or at Shoban Shoban. You can find if you just type that in, 9 times out of 10 it is me. So it definitely does help out.
Nice. Cool. I can be found across the internet at Destroy Topmont at Ethafar. That's YTHAFAR. And that's like on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. I'm kind of still in self-imposed exile from social media, so who knows what's really going on. But yeah, this has been the Easily Excitable podcast. Shoban, thank you very much for being my guest this week.
Man, thanks for having me. It's always great just kind of catching up and going through everything,
Yeah.
so it's always fun.
It's all right, man. And thank you everyone for listening. Have an exciting week. Goodbye.
Bye.